Здравствуйте! Welcome again to Creative Slav. Today what I'm going to be making for you is a farmer's cheese. This is very similar to, I guess, cottage cheese, but it's a lot smoother and creamier, and I'm making it from scratch. So we'll see how it goes today. What I've done here is I put in 5 cups of whole milk, and I'm bringing it to the boil. Now if you have a double boiler, that would be great, then the milk won't stick. And I've already started this off. When you see the bubbles like this, you know it's just about right. I'm going to add some salt to this. About that much salt, a little handful of salt to the milk. And could also add some sugar, but I won't do that today. So what this is being used for is for the filling for Blini. So if you want a nice creamy filling for your Blini, this is what you would make. So this is just about done. It's at the boil. And the other thing you're going to add to this is lemon. Now, of course, you know when lemon and milk mix, it curdles. And that's exactly what we want. We want to curdle the milk so that we get a nice cheese. And if you've heard of that little story about Little Miss Muffet sitting on her tuffet, eating her curds and whey, this is exactly what we're getting. My cameraman's got his film a little bit close to the stove. I don't want it to burn. So what you're going to see that white stuff, that's what we want. And that is the curds. Now, of course, I'm making just a really tiny batch for you. Otherwise, normally you want to make at least 1 or 2 gallons of milk and maybe 2 lemons that you would put in this to get more curds. Because, of course, the more curds you get, the more cheese you get. After this gets, a little bit more curdly, we're going to put it into cheesecloth. And I'm just going to get a spoon just so you can see what this looks like. So you can see in there are little bits of hard bits, and then there are liquid bits. And we want to separate the hard stuff from the liquid. And we're going to just sip that out. Okay, I think it's just about done. Now, there's probably not going to be a lot of cheese in here, but it'll be enough for our purposes. The other thing you could do if you don't want to go through the trouble of making this cheese, which most people do not want to do, you can go ahead and just use cottage cheese, and have in mind that cottage cheese is in these lumps. And so what I would do is put it in a food processor with about a tablespoon of sugar. And if you want to add some spices like cinnamon or something, you could add that to the food processor with the cheese and grind that up so it's a nice smooth paste. Okay, so now I'm going to take this over to the sink because I want to make sure that I do this safely. And so I'm going to take the pot, and you see I've lined it with some cheesecloth. If you remember my last episode, I was in a hunt for cheesecloth, so this is the kind I got today. So I'm going to just carefully pour, I don't know if you can see that, pour this in, and you can see the clumps of cheese, that white stuff, and the liquid is the stuff we don't want. So I don't mind that just going down the drain. I'm just going to put that over here and adjust my cheesecloth. And so what's going to happen is the cheesecloth is just going to hold all the cheese, and we will be left with the cheese, and the liquid will be just drained. And it takes quite a while for it to drain. What you want to do is you're going to wrap it in the cheesecloth and put it in the fridge and let it cool down. And then you will have cheese for your Blini. So you can see right here, let's do it again, you can see that the cheese kind of forming here. So this is what we want. You can, if you want to add some sugar or something, or honey, I might want to add some honey, give it a little bit sweeter flavor. So this is how you make a really simple farmer's cheese. It doesn't take very long, just less than 5 minutes. Get some milk and lemon and a little bit of salt, and you're good to go for your Blini. So this is Farmer's Cheese, and for right now, this is Tamara from Creative Slob and Paka.